Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this CSJ podcast. I'm your host, Coach Jay. And it's been a while since we've had some videos, musings of an INFJ. And actually, this is what I like to think of as the next evolution in that series. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it INFJ Coffeehouse. And talk about a lot of different things during this podcast. And most of that, the inspiration for the content will come from Quora, where I spend a lot of time on. Quora is a little bit more intellectual, let's say. Relatively speaking, everything's relative. But it does seem to have more people on there who are genuinely interested in, a given topic and want to learn and ask, more sincere questions. At least that's what I found. Not in every case, but as a whole, seems to be that way. And in the vein of coffee house, which is typically a kind of a type of music. And I love music. Been listening to a little this morning. And so this morning, musical inspiration comes from Brandi Carlile and her tune Hiding My Heart. So for what that's worth, if you'd like to listen to some Brandi Carlile, check it out. Favorite of mine. Anyway, so what's happened since musings in my last episode there? Well, several things. It's been quite a while, longer than I care to admit, but a lot of things have happened. For one, I left my job at the bank where I'd worked for 29 years. It was a difficult decision in some ways. It was easy in others. Brought about by change and acquisition. And it was my time. I just knew that it was my time. And so I took the opportunity, had a little savings, and decided I'd take a sabbatical, take some time. I actually took 2.5 weeks, got an SUV, took 2.5 weeks and traveled many parts of the country, as far north as Cleveland, Ohio, as far west as Santa Fe, New Mexico, and would love to do something like that again. Wait till the weather warms up. I had planned to go to North and South Dakota, Minnesota, and points west, but you don't do that in the middle of winter. I hadn't thought about that too much. Anyway, so there was that. Some other things. I had to put a hard stop on a relationship. Door slam it. And I'm still, I say I'm still, not really. It took me a long time to actually pull the trigger. Should have done it several years ago. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm older, have more experience. Door slamming is hard. But nevertheless, it was required, and it was, an act of really self-preservation and what I wanted for my own future, and had to be done. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. Another thing that happened was I lost my mother, and I was thinking earlier about, as I was preparing for this podcast, I was thinking about a musings video where she was a topic of it. She was an ISFJ. And, you know, I don't think I've fully come to terms with her passing yet, even though it's been, she passed on Father's Day, ironically enough. Yeah, maybe that's something to talk about in the context of another lecture or another, well, podcast. I don't know how much lecturing I actually do. Anyway, so a lot's happened. One other thing that's happened on a happier note, and one that I'm very grateful for, is just the number of great coaching sessions that I've been able to have with many of you, many members of the CSJ community, especially over the last couple months. We ran a holiday special, got some special pricing approved and implemented for coaching, and many of you took advantage of that. And I personally was thrilled because it gave me a chance to meet so many of you and just get to know you. And many of you from all over the world, not just in the US, which I'm especially thankful for. But back to this INFJ Coffeehouse. So this is what we're going to do going forward. You know, FE Parent has missed this format. SE Inferior, not so much. It's not my favorite. But we're going to go. We're going to do another season here and see how it goes. So we're going to spend time. I think my main inspiration is going to be on answering Quora questions, but certainly, and those questions are my choice. But certainly, if any of you have questions that you want to direct to me specifically, put them in the comments here. And you know, I might be a little picky, choosy on those, but again, they'll serve as some inspiration. So, and what I probably will do is take those and make them, you know, put them in a broader context so they have application to a larger audience. Probably what I'll do, we'll see. But certainly, if there's something you'd like me to talk about, I'd like this to be a little more interactive, kind of like a coffee house where people, you know, call in and maybe request certain tunes or something like that. So today's question, we'll get into it. Let's see, where is it? There it is. All right. So I'm going to make a couple points about this, but the original question, okay? The original question, why do INFJ people not make a move even when they know you are into them? So this is a relationship question, obviously. Why do INFJ people not make a move even when they know you are into them? So I wrote my response. This has probably been actually a week ago. And so I'll tell you what my response was. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, and probably anybody here could have answered it. But I just wrote, you know, it's a bit complex. Certainly nothing mysterious. I always put that in there when I'm talking about INFJs because especially outside CSJ community, people, so many people think of INFJs as mysterious, or introverted intuition as mysterious and unknowable, and you know, and it's just a bunch of hogwash. I mean, frankly. But anyway, nothing mysterious, and you needn't look no further than cognitive functions, cognitive dynamics. You know, number one, well, first of all, you got to look at NI Hero, right? If an INFJ doesn't see you as part of their future, or if they see you as somehow inhibiting where they want to go in their life, or something along those lines, they're not gonna, you know, it doesn't matter that you're into them. probably not going to want to pursue you out of wanting to protect their own choices, so take that for what it is. And so but that is one consideration. Another one is, of course, INFJ's fear rejection. But it's actually a little deeper than that, isn't it? It's, of course, we've already talked about extroverted sensing inferior, meaning, they fear that they're going to give you a bad experience, or they're not going to make you feel comfortable, or that if you get to know them, that you'll learn something about them that you don't really like, a little bit of imposter syndrome there, right? Then they've got, of course, extroverted intuition nemesis. If you're into them, they may wonder about your intentions. I mean, if you're too into them, if you call them too much, text them too much, if you're overly trying to make them feel good by the things you say, what would be a good example? Oh, you're so good at this, and you're such a good person, and you're so honest, and this kind of thing. Okay, a little of that goes a long way. You get too much of that, they're going to start to mistrust you. They will think that you've got an agenda. So go light on that would be my experience and my suggestion. Yeah, if you're going to do that, give them a little bit of criticism too. If you give them criticism as well as the appreciation or the kind words, they're much more likely, in my view, okay, much more likely to trust you. But if you go too overboard, it doesn't take much with the kind words and whatnot, you could open yourself up to their suspicion as to, is this person being sincere? It's the way it is, because we're also dealing with FI critic, and they already think they're a bad person, and that feeds into, of course, why are you saying all these good things about it? Because I don't believe them myself, so they can't be true. That idea. So a lot of you get it. Many of you, hopefully most of you, have been part of CSJ community for a while. You understand these dynamics. And then of course, so so we're going to stop. We're going to hold off at this point. I added a little bit to the answer, and we're going to get to that in a second here. But at this point, I wanted to mention a woman by the name of Emily. That's not her real name. I'm trying to protect her. I don't know why, but anyway, so she responded. She actually responded to me, and her response was, "It's extrovert, not extravert, and you are wrong, period." Literally, that's what she said. And so, I saw that. I actually saw that this morning, and I thought, and it's written in emphasis, and it's okay. Russia's about to invade Ukraine. There is so much social disharmony in the US, around the world these days. Nobody seems to be able to get along with each other. We're so quick to accuse each other, everything. And you're going to get on me because I said extrovert instead of extrovert, even when both are acceptable. And my preference is extrovert. And you have to make a big deal of that. And then you say, and you are wrong, period. Tell me why I'm wrong. This is what I told her. I wrote back and said, okay, fine. Extrovert, tomato, tomato, I don't care. Extrovert is my preference. And, but at least tell me why I'm wrong. I mean, that's such a cop-out. you are wrong, period. What, you don't have, you don't like what I say, and that's your answer? You just don't like it, even though you don't have any intellectual reason to tell me why? So I put it back in her court. Tell me why. I've yet to hear from her. We'll see. So we'll see. The other thing, though, about this that I wanted to mention was NI hero specifically. And it's not so much related to this question, although it is in some ways, is that I don't think, and please tell me if I'm wrong, I want to know. I don't think that people understand, well, a lot of people don't understand introverted intuition, granted. And like I said earlier, they want to make it some mysterious, unknowable, otherworldly, fantastical thing. And it's not. It's really not. And without going in, but what I do want to say, without going into the definition, which again, I think most people on the podcast know, is that what I will agree with is that it's probably not really understood from a practical application standpoint, especially by people who have NI hero, INTJs, INFJs. And what I mean by that, and I don't know, again, correct me, but NI hero, introverts, the introverted NI in the hero slot, these are true introverts, INFJs, INTJs, still have to initiate, right? Because NI is future oriented. It's about what the individual wants. So by definition, it has to initiate. And what I've also noticed is, in interaction with people, and it's just something I've noticed more recently as I've thought about it and talked to Jace about it, is that extroverts defer to NI hero. You think about extroverts as being initiating, but when it comes to interaction with NI hero, at least in my experience, they defer. And I want to be wanted as much as the next guy. What I failed to see or realize is that people want that NI hero. I just don't see it. I don't, or I fail to accept it, maybe. And maybe again, it's back to this original question, and what was it? What was it here? Why do INFJ people not make a move? I don't think they know. I don't think they realize that you're into them, and they're afraid for all the reasons that I mentioned. But with TE, especially for the INFJ, TE trickster, they may not know what you're thinking. They may not know that you want them. They don't see the attraction that's there for NI hero. And it's something to be, it's something to look and verify for yourself. Maybe I'm off base, but the point is, it's there. People are attracted to NI hero. And So for those of you INTJs, INFJs, be aware of that. Take advantage of it. But I don't know. Sometimes I just don't want to. I don't know. It's a bit of a burden to be introverted, but yet to really be the one who needs to initiate, especially in relationships. So think about it. Let me know your thoughts. It's something I've been thinking about, obviously, as I'm looking to do some new things in life. Second career. I got to go out and look for that. Something relationship-wise. And this time hoping to, avoid some of the things that I dealt with in this relationship that I had to end. Anyway, it's good to be back. We're going to try and do some more of these. And again, please let me know your questions, comments below. And again, thank you to those who took advantage of the coaching. It's one of the best things for me, one of the most enjoyable things that I get to do at CSJ. I'm grateful for that. And so, yeah, sign up for some coaching. All righty. Everyone have a good day. And until next time, we'll see you later.